Moist, luscious and indulgent, my whipped chocolate ganache celebration cake looks and tastes fantastic, but the bit that will make gluten-free chocoholics rejoice is that it's also completely wheat-free and gluten-free. It's the perfect choice for any special occasion, and I'm going to show you that it's a doddle to make too. This cake is made using a ready blended plain or all-purpose gluten-free flour mix. I do also use a few ingredients that really help in providing the taste, texture and rise associated with perfectly baked cakes. I've been baking for many years, and these little tips and tricks will make an amazing difference to your finished gluten-free cake, so stay watching. We'll start by taking a quick look at the ingredients list. You'll need your choice of plain or all-purpose gluten-free flour blend. I'm using Dove's Farm, which is a UK brand, but you can use any general gluten-free blend. I'm also going to use some chestnut flour, which helps add strength to this gluten-free cake. However, if you're unable to source chestnut flour or want to avoid nuts, just replace it with gluten-free flour blend. We'll need some gluten-free baking powder. Another ingredient which helps give the cake strength and structure is a small amount of xanthan gum, but this is optional if your preference is to omit it. You'll need some caster or superfine sugar, and I use a natural golden variety. Next is fat. You can use butter or a sunflower or buttermilk dairy spread, or even a dairy-free spread. The chocolate I've used is 70% cocoa chocolate, and I always make sure that it's fair trade. My lovely free-range eggs are size large in the UK, which is equivalent to extra large in the USA. Now for some flavourings. First, a small amount of gluten-free coffee and some vanilla extract, both of which add depth and complexity to the chocolate taste. Finally, a dash of glycerine, which is also known as culinary glycerol. This really helps baked goods taste moist, which is exactly what you want in an indulgent chocolate cake. You used to have to buy this from the chemist or pharmacy, but fortunately this ingredient is now widely available in small bottles from the home baking section in supermarkets. Finally, for the whipped chocolate ganache, you'll need some more chocolate and some double or heavy cream or dairy-free alternative if required. Pop the butter or spread and sugar into the mixing bowl and beat together really well until it's light and fluffy. This should take at least 5 minutes and preferably 10, but let's fast forward until the mixture is light pale yellow and very fluffy. Now add the vanilla extract, glycerine and cooled coffee. Then gradually beat in the eggs one at a time. You may need to scrape down the sides of the bowl to make sure everything is well mixed. So that's the second egg. And now the third and final egg. Now I'm going to add some chocolate that I've melted in a bowl over a pan of hot water and then allowed to cool. I add about half initially and beat this into the egg mixture. So here's the other half of the chocolate. Make sure you scrape it all into the mixing bowl, then beat together to combine fully, scraping down the sides of the bowl with a spatula again if you need to. Don't panic if it looks like the mixture has split. As you can see, it all comes together perfectly in the end. Add the chestnut flour if using, plus the gluten-free flour that I've combined with the baking powder and optional xanthan gum. Turn the mixture on to a very low speed and beat until combined. Grease and line 2 15cm or 6-inch cake tins with baking parchment or silicone liner and divide the mixture evenly between the 2 tins. Make sure that your oven is preheated and bake the cakes for 25 minutes until firm to the touch and a skewer inserted in the centre comes out clean. Remove from the oven and leave to cool completely in the tins, then turn out and remove the liner. While the cakes are baking, make the chocolate ganache. Break up the remaining chocolate into a heat-proof bowl. It's fine to use the same bowl as earlier. and add the cream. Place over a saucepan filled with a small amount of boiling water so that you can rest the bowl over the pan without the bottom of the bowl touching the water. Place the pan on a low heat on the stove and then rest the bowl over it. Heat until the chocolate has melted, but don't worry if the mixture looks grainy whilst it's melting. Once the chocolate is fully melted, beat the chocolate cream mixture until smooth and glossy. Remove from the heat, allow to cool to room temperature, then place in the fridge to chill for about 20 minutes. When the cakes have cooled too, transfer the chilled ganache to the bowl of a food mixer fitted with a whisk. Beat the ganache until it's light, airy and paler in colour. Set the bottom cake layer onto a plate with the base side up. Then spread over slightly less than half of the beaten ganache. Top with the remaining cake layer and then spread this with the remaining whipped ganache. You can either leave the sides uniced or you can spread them with the whipped ganache too. If you want a really smooth finish, dip a palette knife in hot water, dry it, then run it over the top of the ganache, but I like this more rustic look. Once you've finished icing the cake, you can decorate it. Here I've got some sugar flowers that I made, but you can also easily buy sugar flowers or sugar characters like this teddy bear. Alternatively, sugar pearls add a pretty detail, but watch out though, they're a bit frisky. Alternatively, add a cake topper for a special occasion. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have. This chocolate cake recipe is just one of over 50 recipes from my gluten-free and wheat-free easy bread, cakes, bacon and meals recipes cookbook. Available as a paperback or Kindle book from Amazon or as an ebook from iBooks, Nook or Kobo. You'll find all the links in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching and goodbye.